Now on CoastTV News.
Focus on flooding as we prepare for a yellow alert weather day. How DelDOT is preparing you for flooding on the roads. New standoff details, a report now public following the investigation into the gunfire exchange with a police officer last month near Lewis. What it concluded about his actions.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Matt Pensick and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Our top story is the tracking of some heavy rain later today. Now, right now, we're getting a live look at Delaware's capital city of Dover. You're not seeing any indication of that rain right now. But let's get right to our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trihey. He's got a look at first alert weather. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Delmarva. Indeed, we do have a yellow alert for that potential, I'm stressing potential, of flash flooding as we go into the evening hours. So a flood watch goes into effect at 2 p.m. for essentially all of Delmarva, including Sussex County, and for the rest of our area as well. That's for this evening. Ahead of that, it's hot, upper 80s to 90 in Bridgeville right now, 89 in Millsboro, a little cooler at Bethany Beach at 80 degrees and 81 at Indian River Inlet, and those dew point temperatures are tough. Mid to upper 70s, even lower 80s, so we've got a lot of cities showing up with triple-digit feels like temperatures. 101 in Millsboro, feels like 102 in Delmar, 105 in Milton. Not as bad at the beaches, but it is going to be a scorcher into the afternoon. It's a little bit of a It's not really going to cool us off. We're seeing some cumulus clouds building up now. Nothing in the way of storminess over the top of us, but we look to the west. There's one front to our northwest with some light showers and storms now, but a bigger push of rain and storms to the Ohio Valley, and that will sink to the southeast as we go into this evening. So make sure you're weather aware as we go into the afternoon with showers and storms, some of those with heavy rain, then a bigger push of heavier storms, maybe severe, with very heavy rain as we go into this evening. But ahead of that, feeling as hot as 104 this afternoon. Day part forecast has those storms increasing into the afternoon. I think it's the evening hours that we're going to see the heavier rain and storms. More on that and more on a big cool down heading into the weekend a little bit later in the newscast.
All right, thanks, Bobby. He mentioned the potential for flooding, the key words there, but that did lead DelDOT this morning to post several reminders when it comes to driving, including, now we often don't realize the depth of water on the roads. They say to never drive through flooded roads. According to the National Weather Service, over half of all flood-related deaths occur in vehicles. This just in, the investigation report from the June 23rd standoff is now public. It concluded that the Millsboro police officer who fired his gun in an exchange with a 49-year-old man did not violate any laws or police policy. This is the video of the law enforcement at that scene of a house on Blackwood Drive in Angola. This is where 49-year-old Jason Arnold was inside after he fired an AR-15 at police. And after several hours, Arnold was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot. Police officers who discharged a gun are subject to an investigation. And you can find more of our coverage and a link to that report on our website, CoastTV.com. A Delta Airlines flight had to make an emergency landing last night in Minneapolis after experiencing significant turbulence mid-flight that injured dozens of passengers. This is video from online channel MSP Airport Live that shows Delta flight DL56 touching down last night. According to Delta Airlines, 25 of those on board were taken to local hospitals for evaluation and care. And U.S. officials are continuing to investigate after a U.S. Navy F-35 fighter jet crashed in Central California on Wednesday. This crash happened around 6:30 p.m. near Naval Air Station Lemoore. Fire and thick black smoke rose from the crash site that's around 40 miles southwest of the city of Fresno. Officials say the pilot was able to eject safely and was taken to a hospital. Our top story as we move on, getting to know more about the candidates vying for the District 20 House seat in Delaware. A forum is taking place tonight in Milton for Democrat Alana Berry and Republican Nikki Miller. And this comes as early voting is now underway and the special election is set for August 5th. According to organizers, the forum is 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Milton Elementary School. On your screen right now, we're showing you a map of District 20. This is the area we're talking about. It covers Milton and parts of Lewis, Harbison, and Georgetown. It's home to approximately 23,000 registered voters. And we have new early voting numbers from the Delaware State House District 20 special election to tell you about. According to the Department of Elections, over 4,500 people have already gone to the polls From now until August 3rd, the early voting schedule is 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And there are only 2 voting locations in the early voting. Those are at Lewis Elementary and Mariner Middle School. Election day is August 5th, with the polls open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. With recreational weed sales in Delaware set to begin, some officials got a first-hand look inside the state's marijuana industry. Governor Matt Meyer toured First State Compassion in Milford. He also met with a few Delaware Tech students enrolled in the school's new cannabis industry training program. Up next, Mayor Memories, the nonprofit celebrating 25 years of rescues and rehabilitations in Delaware. All that and more as Coast TV News Midday continues.
There are so many unique things along the coast of Delmarva. Take our waters, for example, where we have marine animals, sea turtles. And in this week's Coastal Connections, reporter Emma Aiken introduces us to an organization that has spent the last 25 years protecting those things right here in Delaware.
Flipping through memories. And there is a lot of them for Suzanne Thurman. She's the founder of the Marine Education, Research, and Rehabilitation Institute. Most Delawareans know the nonprofit as MARE, and MARE is celebrating 25 years this year.
It's been a really wonderful and heartwarming journey.
That journey began from Thurman's love for animals and the environment. Back in 1995, she was volunteering for the state and recalls a moment that changed it all.
I remember rescuing that seal and I thought, oh, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and it just really resonated with me, and I'm very fortunate I found a way to be able to do that.
4 years later in 1999, Thurman and a loggerhead sea turtle crossed paths. The creature, cold and stunned, had no resources in Delaware at the time to help her.
So I had to bring her home and keep her alive in my laundry room overnight, and that not ideal for her, but I tried to keep her moist and comfortable. And I remember she had barnacles all over her shell, and they were clattering because they were out of water. She served such a big purpose because I could see how much these animals needed care right away, and how many of them could be saved or at least ease their suffering. And also document them.
That sea turtle rescue inspired the start of MARE, having no idea it would shell out to more than 5,000 rescues over the last quarter century, including whales, dolphins, porpoises, seals, and sea turtles. But Thurman says you just can't save every one of them. That's why prevention through education is so important.
The legacy that I do want for this community is our education center. And that will be such a resource here.
Thurman says she couldn't have done the last 25 years without the community's support. And she's proud to say that MARE's had more than 500 volunteers.
I love knowing that we're in this community, and that I know that we've had so much support, and that support will just continue on and on. I don't see people all of a sudden not caring about these animals, so it's a wonderful partnership.
Thurman explained that being on call 24/7 certainly doesn't come without its hardships, but as she reflects on the pictures that weave together MARE's 25 years, she's reminded of what's important. What's been work for MARE has been a life saved for many of the coast's cutest creatures. For Coastal Connections, I'm Emma Aiken.
We've got some big changes in store for Delmarva. It's the last of the real hot, humid weather today. A chance of flooding tonight with a yellow alert, and then much cooler weather heading into the weekend. Right now, we've got some cumulus clouds that are starting to look threatening over SU right now. Nothing on the way of rain yet. 89 in Salisbury, and we're going to be warming into the lower 90s, but those feels like temperatures in the triple digits. And we do have that risk of excessive rain. And by the way, also scan this QR code right here, hover your phone over it, and then you can get the Coast TV weather app and stay on top of any developing weather. And we might have some flash flood warnings this evening. We have an enhanced chance or a moderate chance of excessive rain from D.C. to Baltimore and Philadelphia. They could see upwards of 4 to 6 inches of rain in this yellow shaded area across Sussex County down towards Salisbury and parts of the eastern shore. It's a slight risk where I think we'll see slightly lower chances of flooding, and then those chances really go down as we go into Friday morning as the threat has bypassed us. But we have a flood watch that begins at 2 p.m. today, continues until 6 a.m. tomorrow for Sussex County, even along the coast too. too, back into Maryland around Salisbury, back through Whaleyville, along the beaches, and even the eastern shore under this flood watch. And we're not alone. It's not only Delmarva, but back through the I-95 corridor from D.C. up to New York. They could see some flooding for sure. And temperatures are hot ahead of this front into the upper 90s, upper 80s to around 90 now. 89 in Millsboro, 88 in Redden, 80 in Bethany Beach, and 80 in Rehoboth right now. And those tough dew points in the mid to upper 70s. And look at all the triple digit temperatures. Feels like already about 101 to 104. Just really nasty out there, and 80s at the coast. But things will improve as we do have a southerly breeze right now, and you're seeing the clouds beginning to puff up now across Delmarva. Nothing in the way of showers and storms yet, but we are starting to see some pop up near D.C. into Baltimore, southeast PA along a stationary front. But there's a stronger cold front west of this with heavy rain from Cleveland into New England, and that will settle to the southeast and bring us that flood threat tonight. And behind this system, it is cool Canadian high pressure that builds in for the upcoming weekend. Futurecast at 12:30 showing some pop-up showers and storms, some with very heavy rain in a short period of time, and maybe some gusty winds as we're near 90 as we go into the afternoon. Here's 6 p.m. and we're looking at some very heavy thunderstorms, perhaps causing flooding in low-lying areas or poor drainage areas as temperatures cool into the 70s. So be weather aware if you're out this evening as we're looking at this rain, and some of it very heavy from Millsboro back through Salisbury around 9:30, and it's still hanging on for parts of Virginia, southeast Sussex County late tonight. Then it's finally moving off the coast by 1 a.m. By tomorrow morning, the wind shift to the northeast. We're starting out in the low 70s, and then we're only into the mid to upper 70s in the afternoon, and then we're finally clearing out and setting us up for a beautiful weekend with 60s and 70s to start Saturday morning, and only upper 70s close to 80 in the afternoon on Saturday with a cooler northwesterly breeze. We're looking at a slight chance of storm, severe weather across the eastern shore with a lower chance to the southeast as we go through this evening. And we're looking at some places maybe upwards of 5 inches of rain. That's a lot of rain in a short period of time, but mainly 1 to 3 inches, I think, across much of the area. And those feels like temperatures as high as 105 this afternoon as we're looking at very humid conditions. And then we're finally into the comfortable range this weekend and early next week as we have high pressure over the top of us. Dew points in the 50s and 60s, very comfortable and pleasant. 90 in Harrington and Milford today for the eastern shore, 91 in Cambridge, 90 in Vienna. Salisbury about 90 for you, 89 in Ocean City. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, big cool down Friday with clouds 76, lower 80s into the weekend. Comfortable humidity levels, overnight lows in the 60s, maybe some upper 50s as we go into Sunday and Monday morning, and still staying pretty nice into early next week.
All right, thanks, Bob. And here's what's coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network. 6:15, Maryland Supreme Boys Basketball League. And then at 10:30, you can catch the final score on DSM Plus. Along with that basketball game, they were having some of the U.S. AAA softball championships. Coming up, Fishing Brew. Right before the White Marlin Open, we look at the new collaboration Dogfish Head is producing. Coast TV News Midday is back after this. International House of Pancakes is capitalizing on the TikTok trend of unveiling the Dubai chocolate pancakes. They're buttermilk infused with Dubai chocolate flavors. The stack is topped with a massive Dubai chocolate bar, Madagascar vanilla infused whipped cream, and a shaving of edible 24-karat gold flakes. Just in time for the White Marlin Open, Dogfish Head is launching a new beer. They partnered with the Qualified Captain, a North Carolina-based lifestyle brand, for the Qualified Cast Ashore. Dogfish Head says they're heading to Ocean City next week for the tournament. Halloween is months away, but Home Depot is already getting into the spirit of the holiday. Home Depot, I don't know why I'm having trouble saying that, Home Depot's iconic giant 12-foot skeleton will return. And this year, he has friends, 5-foot-tall skeleton dogs and cats. The new collection also features characters from horror films like The Bride of Chucky and Frankenstein. Are you ready for some football? Tonight at 7, it is the Hall of Fame game. Watch as the Lions take on the Chargers right here on Coast TV. And still ahead, brain power boost. What a study found when it comes to food and cognitive decline. Stay with us on Coast TV News Midday. Getting financial food assistance appears to benefit the brain. Older adults who are SNAP participants have a slower cognitive decline than eligible people who are not. That's according to a new study from the University of Georgia. U.S. officials say the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program provided money for more than 41 million people per month last year. Health experts say having a little more money for the grocery store helps some households buy healthier foods, which can include brain-healthy fats. An updated study suggests dramatic lifestyle changes may fight early-stage Alzheimer's disease and, in some cases, begin to reverse it. The study, published in June of last year, involved an extended program of intensive lifestyle changes, including diet, exercise, stress levels, and social interactions.
We're starting to see those cumulus clouds building in Laurel right now, and showers and storms later, but it's going to be hot and humid ahead of a front. And we're talking about the threat for flooding tonight with a yellow alert followed by much cooler air. Congratulations to Jody Burns from Frankfurt on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV. I'll have your 10-day forecast coming up next. Hang in there, one more hot afternoon, temperatures near 90. Then we're going to see storms starting to pop up this afternoon and this evening. They could get a little strong with a lot of heavy rain. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead and Dallas Federico. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. We do have a yellow alert this evening for that flash flood potential. Be weather aware. Much cooler Friday, 76, and a beautiful weekend for the first weekend of August. Lower 80s for highs, lower 60s at night, maybe some 50s, and then still pretty nice as we go into the early to middle part of next week.
Thanks, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app, and don't forget to catch us this evening for Coast TV News at 5. Till then, have a great Thursday, everybody.